And Lepore, that brings us into this conversation about Christian Dvorak, who's now replacing Kotkaniemi. And you've talked about Christian Dvorak and how you watched him with the London Knights playing with Mitch Marner and Matthew Tkachuk and how great that trio was. And I think Dvorak's a good player. Now, trading a first and second round pick, you could say maybe it's, a little bit of an overpay. I mean, I'm sure people are kind of 50-50 on that, but just looking at Christian Dvorak's numbers last season, 17 goals, 14 assists, 31 points in 56 games. He was 6th on the Coyotes in scoring. So it's not like he was, one of their top dynamic point producers and offensive players, but this is a good, solid player. And I think that he's an upgrade over Kotkaniemi. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a good fit with the Montreal Canadiens. I really do.
Yeah, I think they're kind of hoping it's going to be like a Toffoli thing too, where he just like finds his spot and can succeed. But yeah, solid boom by Montreal. And again, like Montreal with their lineup, they're going to try to win games, man. This team's going to try to win now. And like you said, they got better with him. And the kid brings a little bit of tenacity from what I remember from like watching games. So again, like Bergevin, like he was having a weird summer with like the draft and this thing with KK. But I think these kind of like relaxed Canadiens fans a little bit with like showing some patience, showing some objectivity, letting the kid go, not being emotional, and then spinning this deal. But man, side note. Okay. So like you said, they traded the first and third to get Dvorak.
Or first and second.
My bad. Yes, first and
so
second.
They got it was the third as the compensation.
As the my bad. So like on a side note, the Arizona Coyotes over the next 3 years. So in 2022, they have 3 first-round picks. They have their own. They have Colorado's and they have a Montreal pick. In the second round of this draft, you ready for this one? They have 5 picks.
Oh my goodness.
The Arizona Coyotes have 5 second-round picks. They have 8 picks in the first 2 rounds of this upcoming draft. In 2023, they have their first and their second. They haven't added anything. But then in 2024, they have their own. And they have Florida's pick and Montreal's pick. So, yeah, nuts, man. Nuts. So over the next 3 years in the second round, they have 9 second-round picks.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And 4 firsts. So yeah, like that Arizona team, if you want to rebuild, like this is it. I mean, they've stockpiled.
And then they're probably going to trade Phil Kessel at some point.
Oh, for season. Sure.
And I'm not saying they're going to get a first round pick for Phil Kessel, but they will maybe get a second round pick, third round pick.
Like Kessel still puts up numbers. And if someone's willing to retain, if they're willing to retain on him too, if you add Phil Kessel, it's not bad.
Yeah, like if you're a cup contending team and you can add Phil Kessel as a top 6 winger, yeah, we might see an overpay. I mean, we've seen good point, Lepore, because we've seen Tampa pay a first round pick for Barclay Gaudreau, first round pick for Blake Coleman, going back
Nick Foligno.
Nick Foligno, the Leafs trading a first and 2 fourth round picks. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the crazy one for saying that Phil Kessel probably won't go for a first round pick, because we've seen the last couple of deadlines what some of these teams have been willing to give up for players who shouldn't be traded for first round picks.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that Coyotes team is obviously in a massive rebuild. They're a disaster. Like they got picks coming out of you know what. And yeah, I mean, for the Montreal Canadiens, I think Habs fans would have been absolutely rattled if they didn't spin this around and make a deal, because that was the chatter. You know, if you follow guys like Eric Engels and, Elliot Friedman and a bunch of these other reporters, the word on the street was that if the Habs didn't match the Kotkaniemi offer sheet, that they were going to use that compensation to acquire another centerman. And I think Habs fans were like, that's why they were okay with it, because they're like, okay, we're going to get, and I know a lot of Habs fans were talking about Jack Eichel, which I just thought was absolutely ridiculous. Because
did you see Eric Engels' tweet about Eichel?
What did he say about Eichel?
Oh my God, what a Twitter move. He puts out a tweet that says something along the lines of like, Jack Eichel was seen with some sticks and a bag boarding a flight to Montreal. Yes,
I remember this.
And then underneath, he's like, could be for the BioSteel camp that's taking place in Montreal. So it got all this action. Then people open it up and it's like, oh, he's going to a camp to get photographed. But just hilarious. Nice move, Eric. Nice move.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens fans were really hoping that it would be Jack Eichel, but then I think once they realized that Buffalo probably wanted Nick Suzuki and a first or maybe 2 first-round picks and other picks and maybe even Cole Caulfield in the mix. But anyway, they wanted a massive package, and they still want a massive package for Jack Eichel. But yeah, I think the Habs definitely salvaged things by spinning this into Christian Dvorak. And again, I don't think this puts them over the top by any means. I still think they're going to be in tough this year in the Atlantic Division. But I think Habs fans breathe a sigh of relief seeing another young centerman come into town.
It would have been so fun though, because like had they matched as like a non-Montreal Canadiens fan, just to like watch from the outside and see, okay, they signed this guy to this deal, and all the drama of like the pressure on this kid, the pressure on Bergevin because this kid signed this deal, and then what do they extend him for? What's he worth? Was it a total disaster? Could they have let him walk? Like what they could have done if they did let him walk. It would have been awesome. But yeah, for the neutral, it's unfortunate it didn't happen. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, Lepore, this is going to be a conversation down the road, depending on how Kotkaniemi performs with Carolina. And who knows, he might not even, be with Carolina moving forward. But I think Habs fans are always going to follow Kotkaniemi's career for the next little while to see, maybe what could have been, or maybe they'll be jumping for joy when they see Kotkaniemi completely regress and turn into a bust. But we'll see how that plays out. But